At Lowe's, loyalty is royalty. With Christmas right around the corner, treat yourself to less during the holiday season. Rewards members get early online-only access to Black Friday doorbuster deals on Thanksgiving Day, like the Hisense side-by-side fridge, just $799. Not a member? Join for free today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid 11/27 only on Lowe's.com. Member only doorbusters at midnight Eastern. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change.
Hello, welcome to Imaginist First Podcast. Hello to another journey together, to another new episode, which in today's episode is called The Echo of Authenticity and When Being Yourself Changes Everything. Yes, being your authentic self. Isn't that beautiful? Because authenticity is such a simple word, and yet such a powerful act. To be yourself in a world that constantly tries to shape us as an in or are an act of courage. It is actually an act of courage when you think about it. We grow up learning how to please, how to blend in, how to earn acceptance. We wear masks, sometimes without even realizing it, the mask of the achiever, the caretaker, the strong one, the unbothered one. But deep inside, a quiet voice whispers, what about me? Who am I underneath of all of this? That whispers, that echo, is the sound of your true self calling you home. Yippee-ki-yay. I am dead serious on this one. When you think about it, it's like, what the heck? Seriously. So, when you think about this, how often have you wear or fake it to people? Seriously, wear it or fake it. It doesn't matter. Think about that. Because quite often we want to portray something we truly are not. And people can actually sense it. They know it. They're not going to come and hang around you because they have a sense that you're not as authentic than you should be. You're not your true self. That is the issue that most people are not, I would say, aware of. That whisper, that echo, is the sound of your true self that's calling you home. Yes. So what's the cost of conformity? We want to blend. We want to be accepted. We want to be part of the clique, which in my case, I never wanted to be part of any clique at all. I'm not going to say I was an antisocial, but I was already knowing the path I was taking was different and I wasn't going to fit in. I knew it, which helped or not in some cases. But there is a quiet exhaustion that comes from performing a life that isn't fully ours. Seriously, how often have you go to the office, pretended you like everybody, pretended you were, cheery, pee, and I'm a team player, and you go home and you're tired in the car, it's like, what the heck am I doing here? I am mentally, physically, and emotionally tired. We edit ourselves in conversations. We agree to things that don't align with our hearts. We silence our dreams because they might not fit someone else's ideas of success. I have seen too many people who have dimmed their lights just to fit in because they didn't want it to push the status quo, because they didn't want it to be judged because they were afraid that if I do that, the person I'm with is not going to stay with me, blah, blah, blah. Just that typical crapola that we're telling ourselves, knowing that if we were really truly looking at ourselves, we realize we're in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong people and we should move along. But most people don't, and that's the sad part of it. So the truth is, conformity is safe but suffocating. It is safe, yeah, because you want to be part of it, because you want to fit in. It's a slow fitting of the soul, which is true. This is why I cannot conform to it, because I have claustrophobia. So the advantage to have claustrophobia, actually, and it's a blessing, is when you feel at every level, any level of our lives, when you feel that you're being put in a box, you start to want to push the walls. You start to react because you feel you're being put somewhere that is so small you cannot breathe. That is so nice to be claustrophobic at that level, because you know when you're being confined to something that doesn't fit your own mold. And your mold doesn't fit the rest either. So I need to understand that. Whatever people are doing to put you in a box, it doesn't fit you. So you're going to be suffocating. It's a slow fitting of the soul. It is so sad. It is heartbreaking to go through it. Every time we said yes, when we mean no, a little part of us disappeared. But the good news is we can always return. Okay? It's not like he fades away forever. It's just a moment where we just make it disappear. It's like doing, like I call it, a Houdini things. I like to do Houdini stuff. Appear, I disappear. I walk away, I disappear, and not see me. Oh, now you see me now. But authenticity is not a one-time revelation. It's a lifelong homecoming. And this is true, because this is the good news in there. Every time we say yes, when we mean no, we disappear. However, we can reverse it by going home. Home is the direction and the alignment where you are supposed to be, where you belong. I remember once hearing someone say, when you stop pretending, you make room for real connection. It is so freaking true. That's what authenticity does. It creates the space for truth, for people, opportunity, and experiences that resonate with you, with who you truly are. The world doesn't need a perfect version of you. It needs the real you. Let me repeat and let me say it again. The world doesn't need a perfect version of you. It needs the real you. I'm letting you sink on this one, because this should sink in your soul, in your heart, because you know it's the truth. And yes, maybe to the people that surround you, they're not going to like the real you. Well, too bad, Jack. That means you're not supposed to be in my life. That's what it is. The awakening to self. What is this? Well, there's come a moment, a quiet, unshakable knowing that the life you're living no longer fits. Remember the old say, oh, he or she's in the middle of life crisis. Oh, she's having a meltdown because blah, blah, blah. Well, those are the moments where you realize, I need to make a change in my life. I need to go from where I'm at to do a 360 to where I'm supposed to be. And it could happen in a relationship, a job, a friendship, or even a belief system. Suddenly you realize you have been living according to a script written by someone else. And that's the most interesting in the sad part too, is when you're looking at circumstances as everything, at the awakening of to self, to our own self, the awakening. You start to clean up house. Since I'm little, I've been cleaning up house, because the awakening has been there since I'm born. So it's not like it's a switch that I turned on one day and say, ooh, I'm awakening. But for some people, they've been dormant for years, for decades, until one day the switch turns on, and all of a sudden everything starting to make sense. and everything starting to fall in places. Something fall out in order to let others to come in. But you realize you have your own free will. You realize you are the master of your own destiny. So it can be disorienting feeling it at first. But you start to question everything, your goals, your values, your identity. But questioning isn't the end. It's the beginning of the awakening. So imagine your life as a painting. For years, others have added their brushstrokes, their expectations, their opinions, their version of who you should be. Then one day, you pick up the brush. You start to paint over what doesn't belong. And as you do so, your true colors begin to emerge. That's what authenticity feels like, a gradual unveiling. It's peeling away the layer of conditioning until all that's left is you, unfiltered, raw, and radiant. This is what it is. It's being able to stand your ground and really speak your truth. Act within your truth. Doing the motions in the direction where you want within your own truth. And yes, it's gonna change a lot of things in your life. There's a lot of people who are gonna fall off from your space. For others, they are the right person to come in your life. And that's okay. It happened in a relationship as well, where some people don't want that changes to happen, but it has to happen in order for you to awaken and realize that the life you were living was a lie. It was all suggested by everybody, by your mate, by your friend, by your parents, whatever was expected of you. And that sucks at some level when people are trying to make you follow their own path or what they think should be best for you. When you're a kid, yes, because you need to learn a lot of things and your parents should give you the tools to do that. But I am talking about people who are adults and have been, when the parents have expectation, and I talked in the past, actually, in this regard, for Mommy Dearest, who had, my older sister always wanted to become a chef. She did. She went to class, she went to school, she did what she got to do. At the end of the day, she's not a chef. She's doing something totally different than that, actually, which is funny. It's like, okay. But she was determined to become a chef. Well, she did. She went to school, she did that. And, yeah, that's the way that, things are. The little one, however, was a different story because Mommy Dearest wanted to, when she was younger, was a pharmacist. She wanted to become a pharmacist technician, but life took her into a different direction. So that dream that she had at the back of her head, she just pounded onto the little one, who the little one went along with it, which was quite interesting, actually, because I would have been like, But for me, Mommy Dearest had no hope for me because I was a lost cause. Thank God. For her, in her eyes, I was a lost cause. So I'm like, perfect. I'd rather be the lost cause, the underdog, and compared to, and I'm not comparing with my sister what they had done or achieved, but compare what my expectation was or the expectation she had towards me. Just blow her mind later on in life, realizing that, wow, she accomplished so many things that I would have never believed she accomplished. And like I said to the little one, when I was doing editorial for a magazine, in the book, I participated in 2 books, so I participated. So I wrote the chapters on each of the books. That was the requirement we've got. But the funniest part of it, and I thought that was hilarious, was the fact that I've been told, that's what they said, that I write like I speak, which actually I do it on purpose, which people don't even realize that since I'm a kid. I changed the way I spoke as a kid because it was boring. I'm going to be honest with you. It's like when I talk, I speak with images as well when I speak. So it's not a boring thing, but you're going to remember what I'm saying. And a lot of people remember what I said because of that. But I always did that because I had imagery into my speaking because it was boring. I'm like, this is boring. I want something else. But I was laughing about it when I was collaborating on my first book and I was talking with the little one and we're laughing on the phone because I think it's ironic, it's funny. I said, yeah, well, you can tell Mommy Dearest I'm a published author now and I'm in a book. She was laughing and said, yeah, do you remember that person who told me I was a lost cause, blah, blah, that was an old teacher, retired teacher, and we were laughing about it. I said, see, so you never, you can bet on the wrong horses, you can have an underdog, but never underestimate the underdog because you never know what they can do. That's the key. So when you're awakening, when you decide to make the changes you're supposed to do in your life and really be in alignment, then everything falls into places. This is what it is. The awakening is not, oh my God, I'm awakened, because I know it became a word which kind of annoyed me, not irritated me, but annoyed me at some level because it's been used, politically speaking, or if you're awakening, you're this now. And I'm like, stop labeling people, okay? Number one, stop to put labels. That's ridiculous. But don't try to do things like that because everybody come to what I call it their Jesus moment, where in your life you are the one who's making the changes. So if you're somebody who's already had the awareness in your life, you're doing everything is fabulous and you're leading your life the way you want. You're speaking on the behalf of your own self. That is great. But some people who are people pleasers don't do that, or they want a certain image, and it can turn out to be extremely troubling because when you're doing this, sometimes it doesn't bring you what you need at all. And you can feel the frustration. I do trigger people and I explained the story of that volunteer last year who thought she was taking over the world here, and it was very funny to watch her, and she realized I wasn't bending and being condescending, and everything she could have done, she has done it, and it was like, okay, you need to stop, so I'm going to put set up my boundaries, reset the boundaries, which died and triggered her even more, which was funny. It's like, what is wrong with you? Well, what is wrong with you is somebody who is not awakening, somebody who is insecure, and seeing somebody who knows who they are, who are in a place where even though the world can upside down, that person is still grounded, still know where it's going, and have that confidence that can really trigger others. So it is quite interesting for this and to know this. So it was quite interesting for me to witness all of this and to really realize the awakening takes time. There is people who are awakened and there is people who are not awakened, and that's okay. It's not a big no-no. But it was very empowering to realize we all work at a different speed. Now we need to take the courage to do that because you have a choice. Or you stay and not open your mouth, or you change and start to stand your ground and really become who you're meant to become, to free yourself and to really align with yourself in your life. That's what is beautiful. So when the echoes of trust as well, but truth, when you begin to live authentically, everything around you begins to shift. You cannot stop it. It's part of the process. And some relationship will deepen, other may fade. And again, I think we have a tendency to want to hold on into everything, but you realize your outgrown relationship, maybe a personal relationship, maybe a friendship. Your choices will start to reflect your truth, not your fears. You'll stop chasing validation and start embodying peace. This is what it is. But there is the paradox. Being authentic doesn't always feel comfortable. sometimes it brings friction. And I have experienced this at work as well, where people hated my guts because they had an agenda that wasn't aligning with the company. And I align only with companies. I don't look at your personal interests. I have no interest to know what you want to, what do we say that, want to get out of it. So for me, it was very interesting to really embrace all of this. So at the end of the day, you can look at what you're doing and really embrace every single part of it or not. And that's the awakening part of it. So understand that, yes, you're going to bring the wrath of some people and the hatred, absolutely. But that's part of it, because you're going to trigger them. Like the lady in question I'm talking about, I triggered her. Why? Because she sees authenticity and truth. She sees somebody who's not wearing a mask. Well, she's wearing a mask to pretend. And she needs to make peace with that reflection of this. So you have to understand that. You always have choices. We'll start to reflect your truth, and that's so great. Not your fears, but your truth. You stop chasing validation. You don't care. That's what is very interesting. That's probably what triggers her as well. Stop embodying peace. You're at peace. You're serene. But there is a paradox. Being authentic doesn't always feel comfortable. Sometimes it brings friction. Sometimes it means walking away from what's familiar. And this is what's happening most of the time. Authenticity isn't about pleasing everyone. It's about honoring your soul alignment. This is what it's all about at the end of the day. And when you speak your truth, it sends ripples through your world and have those ripples, those echoes touching others in a way you may never see. Your courage to live authentically gives others permission to do the same. You become the example. You become the example of the changes. The echo of your truth reverberates far beyond your own life. It reaches hearts that are silently yearning for freedom. So, let's do a reflection practice. If you find yourself struggling to stay true, try this moment of stillness. Sit quietly and ask, where in my life am I hiding? Write down one small truth you've been afraid to voice. Speak it gently into the air, even if no one else hears it yet. Your truth deserves oxygen. And as we come to a close, I invite you to take a slow grounding breath. Inhale honesty, exhale pretense. Inhale honesty and exhale pretense. Now ask yourself, what would it feel like to live one day as a full version of me? No mask, no filters, no roles, just you, in your purest, most courageous essence. Authenticity is not destination, it's daily practice of remembering. Each time you choose truth over approval, your soul breathes a little deeper. Let your life become an echo, a resounding expression of who you really are, because when you are real, you become radiant, and the radiance, it changes everything. Until next time, may you walk boldly in your truth, speak from your heart, and trust the echo of your authentic creation. So create authentically. All my love, guys, and I will talk to you later. Bye now. universe future.